Hello, it's that time again. I know it's been a while since I read from Adeline's diary, hasn't it? But it is time. It is time for the next chapter in Adeline's life. And yes, I am wearing glasses. How kind of you to notice. Yes, they are the blue light glasses, or whatever you call them, for working at a computer. And I've been wearing them, and I just decided to wear them on camera here for you for no real good reason. I must apologize for this harsh lighting. It is kind of a dark day outside. Well, not dark, really. It's cloudy. It's cloudy. I'm not getting a lot of light today, so I had to supplement and can't seem to make it look very natural right now. So me and my shadow will be reading from this diary for you. Let's begin, shall we? All right, it's been a while. Let's see if I can still read her handwriting. Monday, July 1st. 1929? Yes. Welcome. The heat was so intense last night. I did not get to sleep until after 3 a.m. The mercury stood at 73, that can't be right. 93 maybe? Maybe 93 degrees. Rained this afternoon, and I set some asters and St. William's flowers. I don't know my flowers. July 2nd. Mrs. Mackenzie and I went to the Lake Tandy to get our fishing tackle for a trip to Rolfort Lake the 4th. We fished before the rain and had good luck. Mrs. Gill invited me to her bridge party that she is giving at the Elks Club Friday. July 3rd, busy preparing for our trip tomorrow to Reelfoot Lake? Anybody? Kentucky, I think? Oh, yes. Don't need to read every page. Some are boring. July 4th, Reelfoot Lake. Mr. and Mrs. Mackenzie, Byron Less, Mr. and Mrs. Bob Nichols, Ed and I arrived at Walnut Log Hotel at 11 a.m. After lunch with our guide, we went on the lake, fished in hollow stumps and caught 32 large bram. I also don't know my fish. We caught catfish growing up, and now I don't want to eat catfish. It was great sport, wildly exciting to pull them up out of hollow stumps. And slept well, caught 42 fish. What are they doing with all these fish? Fishing, it's more fishing. The fish were not striking well today. We only caught 22 in the forenoon and 23 in the afternoon. What are they doing with all these fish? Arrived home on Sunday, July 7th. I am skipping some of them. They're just like one-liners that aren't very exciting because we've got a lot to get through here. July 9th. The annual meeting and barbecue of the Hunting and Fishing Club. Johnny and I started to Kenjaketti, these names, at 9 a.m., but were detained by the illness of Dr. Stone, who was reported to be dying. I went over to render any services I could. We arrived at the cabin 11 a.m. Polished the floors and put the drapery on the furniture. Soon Ed came and went on the lake to fish. At 3 p.m., Dina, Mrs. Howard, and Mrs. M. Gill came and we played bridge until 6 and ate barbecue dinner. That sounds like so much fun. I would love to go to a cabin with friends and fish and have barbecues. Oh my goodness. That would be great. I hope this is recording okay. I actually got a new phone and I haven't quite switched over yet. I'm going to get a Dutch number first. Anyway, I have this iPhone 10 and I was going to use it to record and then realized I couldn't plug my microphone into it. Apple, why are you making things difficult? I have an iPhone SE. I like the size. I just need more storage. And better and better cameras, always good. But gosh, Apple makes everything more annoying and so massive. This new phone is so big, I have to use 2 hands to hold it. Oh dear. I remember the days when my goal was just to get the smallest flip phone I possibly could. Just the smallest phone. And now it's like, we want giant phones. Adeline would not understand this. July 10th. Ed and I came in from the cabin for breakfast. Dina called. Card from Gladys, who is in Washington, D.C., seeing the sights. July 11th, spent the day reading. Does she? No, let's see. More fishing. Not much was happening here. Okay, July 16th. Mrs. Mackenzie called. I ordered my 4th bottle of Conjola. I really must try this stuff. Conjola. 36 years ago, 1893. I love it when she does this. By the way, I have a diary on the way soon from the earlier 1900s, and the woman looks back on her life. I can't wait to read that. I have 2 diaries on the way. Actually, wait, 3. One of them supposedly is haunted. So I got it cheap. 36 years ago, 1893. While attending the World's Fair in Chicago, I saw Sol Smith Russell in his famous play entitled A Poor Relation. While on the grounds that day, I saw Infanta... I can't even read. Eulalia of Spain and her party. I did actually look this up. Hopefully I will include some information on this over to the side here, because the woman seemed like an interesting person. Gosh, it's been like a month since I've done this research. Anyway, I love all these little bits of history that, just would kind of go by forgotten. They're a big deal at the time, to see the Infanta of Spain, and then, it's just like the gossip of the time, and think about it now. It's oh, love it. July 13th, Thursday. The sleeping porch overlooks my flower garden, and this morning I awoke and looked out the window, and to my great delight, there, looking up at me, was an immense soft pink bloom on my hibiscus bush. I hurriedly dressed, and out into the garden I went. Most of the early bloomers have died, and the calendulas, annual and hardy phlox, scarlet, sage, garlandia, and blue. And the second blooming of snapdragons are non-blooming. Oh my goodness, I can't get through these much. July 21st, went to church to witness the laying of the cornerstone of our educational building. wonder if it's still there. Wednesday, July 24th. I was introduced into an almost entirely new social circle this afternoon when I attended Mrs. Herbert McPherson's musical, where Miss Allensworth performed on the piano. This evening at prayer meeting, I delivered a talk on the Book of Ruth. Oh dear, the pencil. Sometimes it's pen, sometimes it's pencil. And the pencil can be a little hard to read sometimes. Okay. Attended a bridge party at the Oldhams, which was another new social circle of young... How long can I pause before you get annoyed? Young matrons? Met Ed at train at 5 o'clock, and we went to Kenjaketti. He had high fever, but insisted on going fishing. We fished until dark. I was very restless all night and had a horrible dream of ghosts that my departed mother was showing me. I never experienced such horror and fright before. Whew. Interesting. July 26th, very hot and dry. Ed was feeling better, and we went on the lake and fished until 1 p.m. Ate lunch and rested an hour or more and went to the lake. But Ed's fever arose and we came in town. Sent for Dr. Stone and Miss Midget, I don't know, Tegan, a trained nurse, whatever her name is. Myrtle, I think Myrtle Tegan. I should look her up. July 27th. I never have dreamed of my mother that some calamity or sorrow came upon me. I am wondering what it will be. I hope that Ed will not have a spell of sickness. He and the clerks were to leave for New York today at 11 a.m. He had them go on and expected to follow in a day or two. July 28th. Very warm. Ed is better, had no fever today, and the nurse was dismissed. Several callers. 29th. Ed came to the table and ate breakfast. First food he has taken since Friday at noon. Mr. Tom Metcalf sent him 2 dozen glad... No idea. Mr. something else Smith called. I can't read this. Still going? Okay, good. It's like 6 minutes till it cuts off, so I have to watch that. Wednesday, July 31st. I wish I could change that. If anyone else out there has a Lumex GX80, gosh, tell me how to make it record more than 20 minutes at a time. It'd be really nice not to have to stop all the time. Ed left at 11 a.m. for New York. Very weak, but otherwise apparently in good condition. I called on Mrs. Blaine and Mrs. Kenneth Cayce and on Miss Ethel Gunn. So does that mean she like went to their houses, like walked over to their houses or drove to their houses or like actually called them? This I don't know. Sometimes she mentioned specifically people calling by phone, but this other, I called on such and such. I'm not completely sure if that means she walked over there. That'd be so nice to have your friends nearby and you could walk and say hello. Thursday, August 1st. We went to Kenjaketti and took John Barnes with us. The heat was so oppressive we did not stay long in the lake, but fished from the boat house. I'd love to know, like, their cabin at the lake, if I could find a picture of that. I've looked. I mean, I found Lake Tandy, but I have no idea if their cabin exists there anymore. August 2nd. The drought was broken by a pouring rain. John is a fine little scout. I taught him to row the boat, and he was thrilled beyond measure when he caught an 11-inch bass. He is dependable and honest in all things, and truthful regardless of consequences. God grant that he may grow into noble manhood. Played bridge at Oldham's. That's so sweet. I wonder how he grew up. He could still be alive. I should try to find him. Saturday, August 3rd, went to the polls. Voted for L.K. Wood for judge. Duffer for magistrate. Mayor for jailer. I don't know. Played cards with the Oldhams. Called on Mrs. Hancock. Letter from Ed stating that his strength had not as yet returned. Where are we now? Still have a couple minutes. Not much. August 6th, Tuesday. Another letter from Ed. He had seen the great German Zeppelin as it arrived in New York. We planted 9 more varieties of perennials. I had the gardener to plant bunch beans, mustard, and spinach. I went to a 7-table bridge party given by Madames Bushmore and Ed Cayce this afternoon. I don't know. Friday, August 9th. Spent the morning gathering flowers and arranging bouquets. They are beautiful. I love and admire them all the more because they are the product of my own effort. Mrs. Chass, I think that's short for Charles, right? Shanklin and I went to Mrs. Eli Adams to a bridge party at 2:30 p.m. this evening. I played bridge with the Oldhams. All right, I think I'll pause that here just a moment. I will be right back. And we're back. Okay, I also have to be conscious of my microphone here and not let my hair fall on it, because that will probably be annoying for you. Okay, here we go. Wait. Want some water? Well, you can't because of Corona. I can't share with you. Okay. Saturday, August 10th. Besides the usual routine of reading and gardening and quarreling at the servants, I did my marketing and went to the 5:30 p.m. train to meet Ed on his return from New York. He looked tired and worn and was not his sweet self. The Oldhams had us over for bridge. Saturday, August 11th. I don't have that marked, but I'll read it now anyway because I just said the date. Reverend Everett Smith, our former minister, who now lives in Miami, Florida, preached today. He is simply wonderful. His sermon was the best I ever heard, with the exception of Gonsaltus, whom I heard in Chicago. Ed, my maid, and I went to Kankakee after lunch to spend the night away from the carking crowd. Is this some 20s slang? It's C-A-R-K-I-N-G. There's some words. I don't know. I hear a car. Somebody's here. Oh well. Monday, August 12th. I hope it's the mailman. Came in at 10 a.m. from Kankakee. Very warm. Did not attend the social meeting at Belmont campus. Ed and I played bridge. Say it with me now. At the Oldhams. Tuesday, August 13th. Dina, Mrs. Pritchett, and daughter of Louisville called this morning, and I had to exhibit my costumes and curios that I got in the various countries on my trip around the world. Oh, how I would love that diary. Oh. Please, God, send me Adeline's travel diary. I have to say, I mean, I've read a couple other diaries in the past couple months because now I'm just addicted, and this is a terrible, expensive habit. So many diaries. She's still my favorite. I don't know if it's because it's the first one, but she's still my favorite. There's one I'm reading right now that I am having a hard time like wanting to finish. It's just not interesting, I guess. But she's still my favorite. But we'll see. Oh, I just love them. I love them. There's a lot of diaries on it right now. I'm sure it'll go for so much money, but a lot, like 52 diaries. It's like a whole lifetime. That would be so cool. It would take me 52 years to read them to you. Attended Mrs. W.R. Wheeler's bridge party at the country club. Largest bridge party I ever attended here. There were 14 tables and a mixed crowd, which I do not enjoy. Okay. I don't know if she means like mixed color crowd, because I found some old times online from this area in Kentucky, and they're a black couple. I don't know if it's them. It would be amazing to find out if it was. And her servants, I think she interacts with black. I don't know. Maybe it's a class thing. She doesn't like. She has this thing about being. She's trying really hard. She really wants to be a lady. What would you call it? Upper class or refined. She really wants to be a refined woman, and I wonder if she doesn't like being around poor people. I don't know. That's a cryptic line there. Monday, August 19th. I assumed the duties of nurse last night, and at 11 p.m. changed Ed's clothes and bed sheets, which were dripping with perspiration, and this morning I gave him a bath and alcohol rub. Had a letter from Jane wanting to know why Denman went to Detroit to work. Oh, I missed. On the 18th, Ed had a chill and they sent for the doctor. Poor Ed. August 20th. Ed stayed in bed all afternoon to keep off his chill. Dina, Mrs. Maddie Gaines, and I went out to Mrs. Howard's and played bridge. 1893. While attending the World's Fair, I went to see Denman Thompson in the Old Homestead. I was accompanied by Will Husbands and Will Puckett. 1898. While visiting my cousin, Anne Coy Kendall, in Morgantown, who married Dr. Gardner, Mrs. E.A. Lehman, mother of Hudson Thatcher, gave a tea in my honor. It's interesting, sometimes her handwriting gets a little more formal or nicer than other times. Usually it's pretty just kind of normal. But I don't know, when she's writing like in the 1890s here, for some reason her handwriting gets a little more flourishy, you know? Book smell. Random, sorry. Wednesday, August 21st, we made up a bushel of grapes into grape juice today. I bought from one C.G. Gordon 3 slips of the Rose of Sharon, paying $5 for same. Flowers seem to be my greatest extravagance. Mr. and Mrs. Howard called. Dun, dun, dun. August 26th. Such joy as I had this morning as I sat on my garden pillow and weeded my seed bed. My lupine was putting out its first little star-shaped leaves. Oh dear. Why did I do this? I can't, sorry. August 27th. Had a letter from Ed stating that he had arrived safely in St. Louis. Johnny and I cleaned the garden by pulling up such plants as had finished their blooming. I bought a bird bath and fountain combined to put in the garden. Mrs. Mackenzie called. But called, like, did she come over or did she call on the phone? I'm going to trust myself on why I put bookmarks where I did. I think I'm usually avoiding flower names. Thursday, August 29th, I went on an inspecting tour of my kitchen garden and find that I have carrots, sassafras, salsa, beans, black-eyed peas, corn, mustard, turnips, sweet peppers, young radishes and tomatoes, a good fall garden generally. The bird bath was placed in the center of the flower garden today, giving a rather artistic, touch to the landscape. Had a card from Denman Peace from 1793. She scribbled that. Detroit. Clyde told me he discharged Din for running in debt. A great fault of the Peace family. Sorry, guys. How far do we go? Let's see, we did July and August. I don't know. Let's see. I wonder if I can finish off the year. Oh my gosh, it's already been 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, we'll get through September. September 1st, the preachers are taking their vacation, and today quite a number of church folk were enjoying boating and fishing. I have 18 different flowers in bloom at the cabin. Everything is beautiful, yet despite the dry weather. September 2nd. Oh. Okay. It's a long one. Wow, my camera ran out of memory in the middle of this deep entry I was reading. That's all right. I'll start again on that one. This is one of my favorite entries because it's what I was saying before, how she had struggled and tried hard and to rise up and be successful in life, and it's really relatable for me. I mean, it's amazing. She mentions like how late I would say that she got married, and anyway, I will read this, and I love entries like this that really share more than what you did in a day, you know, and just share your thoughts and feelings and hopes and dreams, and so this is probably one of my favorite entries in her diary. So strap in, listen up. Okay, Monday, September 2nd. Sorry, I'm looking at the camera thing over there. I look like such a dork. Anyway, okay. This is the 25th anniversary of Father's death, whose name is James Henchy Sublett. It seems impossible that there should be so many changes in the lives and fortunes of the family. Only Maud and I remain, and we have an entirely different outlook on life. Poor Maud, fate has been cruel to her always. Father died while I was county school superintendent of Ballard County. 3 years later, at the age of 39, I married Ed Barnes. Looking back over those 39 years, life was hard and cruel. It was so cruel to me. I craved a high education. Poverty forbid. I was a natural artist. Poverty prevented its development. I was ambitious. I was beautiful. I was vivacious. I was determined to succeed in life. I wanted fame. I wanted power and social distinction. I wanted a beautiful home and pretty things. Poor and struggling, I rose above the idle class. My beauty and innate intellect made me a target for their envy and jealousy, and I was slandered and maligned, crushed and defeated, but never vanquished. Mother was the only human who encouraged and helped me on in my ambitions. And all through life, when despair and failure came upon me, her sweet spirit came to console and urge me on to victory. Today I have reached my goal and satisfied my ambitions, and am a happy, contented woman. Kind of makes me a little, I could cry. I don't know. I'm really happy that she's happy and content, that she got the life she wanted, Cause the first time I read this, I was like, oh no, like I hate the idea of people dying and feeling like failures, or being old and feeling like failures, and to end that saying that she's satisfied her ambitions is kind of like, I don't know, just happy for her. Well, yeah, okay. Tuesday, September 10th. I took my car to the shop to have the painting completed. Had Johnny get 2 loads of manure. We took one to Kenjiketi. Mrs. Mackenzie came out and we went fishing. Gave Mrs. Stone some of my flower slips. I wonder what kind of car she had. How much that cost? September 13th. Why did I say it like that? The drought is broken at last by a soaking rain last night. Mrs. Will Hancock called. Yay, just needed to share that good news about the drought being broken. September 15th. We went to Sunday school and church. I wrote Maud a letter and sent her $25. We called on the roads and went to the M.E. church at 7:30 p.m. A day of rest and worship. I reunited with the women's Bible class. September 17th. The tang of fall is in the air, and I devoted the morning to shopping. Got 2 lovely hats, a fetching little vanity case, and tried on several black chiffon velvet dresses, but none suited me. Mrs. Rhodes called at 10 a.m. At 3 p.m. I went to Mrs. Abernathy's to the opening of our History and Literary Club. My interest now shifts from the fascinating sport of fishing and the delightful task of gardening to culture clubs, receptions, parties, and dress. Wednesday, September 18th. 2 servants and I went to Kenjiketi, worked on the rock garden, made flower beds for young plants, slipped 7 roses, cut off tops of the isis and peonies, and fished an hour. Yes, I am exhausted. It is impossible for me to direct work without doing some of it myself. Perhaps when I am 70, I will direct only, but I doubt it. I doubt it too, dear. September 20th. I attended the tea at Mrs. George Cranshaw's. It was quite an elaborate affair, and 225 guests called. After dinner, Dina, Ed, and I called on the Howards. Had our first fire in the grate. 225 guests. It happened again. Okay, how much time do I have? I have 9 minutes. We can do this. I have to keep erasing things from my... I need a bigger memory card. That's what I need. Okay. Monday, September 23rd. It seemed like old times again when I began this morning to rip up a dress to be made over. Ah, yes. Mend and... Make, do, and mend? Make, do, and mend. Oh, yeah. No, this is what they did for so long. You just remake your clothes instead of buying a bunch of new stuff and throwing it out. Please be more sustainable. But it's such a beautiful cloth. The sage green satin with gold flowers and silver leaves woven in it. It was made in Paris and was one of my evening gowns on my world tour. Oh, to have a picture of this dress. I spent the day overlooking my wardrobe and was a nervous wreck and retired at 7 p.m. Yeah, I would be too if I looked over my wardrobe, which I should do. Had a long letter from Mary and some Kodak pictures of her and her husband. Kodak, huh? Mm-hmm. September 24th. Spent the morning setting plants and went to the H&L, the History and Literary Club, at 3 p.m. She'll be going there a lot. September 26th, Thursday. Spent the morning writing letters to Gladys, Mary, and Jane. For the afternoon, played bridge. In the afternoon, played bridge at Mrs. Gaines, Mrs. A.D. something called. I wonder why people who have seemed indifferent to me heretofore are calling on me now and inviting me to their affairs. Is it because they have just began to realize my social worth? I came here a rank stranger. I was sick and indifferent and have had a hard time establishing myself, but thanks to my good conduct and good sense, I have broken down the icy barrier of Hopkinsville County. Indeed. Okay. Did I mark anything else for September? I did not, but I should read. I'll read September 30th, and then we will. Oh, see if there's anything. Nope, that's just about flowers. September 30th, and then we will call it a day and finish it on the next one, hopefully just in a couple weeks. I don't like to do it like one after the other, you know. I like to spread things out, but we'll get to it. Okay. Yes. Monday, September 30th. Worked from 7:30 a.m. in my flower garden, setting out plants. Ate lunch at 12:30, and Ed, Johnny, and I went to Kentucky. Ed and I fished. Bad luck, only 3 fish. Okay, so that's it for today. That's my bookmark. There we go. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Had some of my favorite passages in there. And next time we'll read the rest of 1929, and then we'll start on 1930. I'll try to do this more often so we can get through it. I'm sorry. You know. Okay, that's that. I hope you enjoyed story time today. Leave your comments and thoughts below. If you do any research on anything I've mentioned, I'd love to hear it or see pictures. And that's it from me and Adeline today. Looking forward to next time. Bye.